You are about to waste $1,000, maybe more, because nobody told you the one thing that makes or breaks a Blender laptop, and it has nothing to do with RAM. I tested 5 laptops specifically in Blender. I know which one will slow your renders to a crawl the moment your scene gets complex, and I am going to tell you exactly which laptop that is. Stick around until the end. I am going to show you the one spec that Blender artists almost never check before buying. It is the difference between a machine that renders and one that pretends to. Blender does not care how nice your laptop looks. It cares about one thing: how hard it can push your GPU for hours without slowing down. Pick the wrong machine, and your cycles renders that should take 20 minutes will take 2 hours instead. That is not a performance difference. That is a deadline missed. That is a client call you're not ready for. And the worst part? Most laptops marketed for creators throttle hard the moment Blender loads a real scene. They sprint for 60 seconds, then limp. I bought 5 laptops. I ran real Blender benchmarks. I ran sustained render sessions, not 5-minute tests. Here's what I found. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because at the end of this video, I am revealing the one spec number that separates a real Blender laptop from a fake one. Most people never find it until after they've bought. Okay, let's get into it. Number 5. Acer Nitro V16 RTX 4060. The RTX 4060 inside this thing does CUDA acceleration right out of the box. No setup, no driver headaches. You open Blender, you switch to GPU rendering, and your cycles renders just work. For the artist jumping from CPU-only rendering to their first dedicated GPU setup, the speed difference is shocking. Scenes that crawled for 40 minutes start finishing in 8. The 16-inch display at 165 Hz is smooth in the viewport. Colors are decent, not color-calibrated studio level, but more than adequate for modeling and UV work. Texture painting you would want to verify on a reference display before final output. Battery life is around 5 to 6 hours doing general work. The moment Blender fires up, plug this thing in. GPU rendering unplugged is not sustainable, but honestly, no GPU laptop in this list is. For $850, you're getting CUDA rendering, a real 8-core CPU, and a solid starting toolkit. If you spend $200 more on a slow laptop with integrated graphics, you lose hours every single week to render times. $850 here pays for itself fast. One thing, and this matters, the base model ships with 16 gigabytes of RAM. If your scenes have dense particle systems or heavy simulation caches, upgrade to 32 gigabytes. You'll thank yourself inside 3 months. Number 4. Asus ProArt P16 RTX 5070. The display on this laptop is the best I have ever used for Blender texture work. Full stop. 4K OLED, Pantone validated, 100% DCI P3 color. When you're painting textures or grading your renders, you're seeing exactly what the output will look like. No guessing, no recalibrating after the fact. The Asus dial is a genuinely useful tool in Blender. You can map it to timeline scrubbing, viewport navigation, or brush strength. After 2 days of using it, you'll miss it every time you open Blender on any other machine. At 4.08 pounds with a 4K OLED, this goes everywhere without feeling like a sacrifice. The ProArt is genuinely portable in a way that most performance laptops are not. Battery life is the honest trade-off here. Heavy rendering sessions drop you to roughly 4 to 5 hours under load. For light modeling and viewport work, you'll stretch closer to 8. $2,500 sounds steep, but here's the math. If one missed texture calibration error means a reprint or a reshooting, that one mistake often costs more than the display upgrade. The ProArt pays for precision. Number 3. Lenovo Legion Pro 7 Gen 10 RTX 5080. This RTX 5080 outperforms the previous generation 4090 in Blender benchmarks, not slightly, meaningfully. In sustained cycles render tests, the Legion Pro 7i holds its performance numbers without throttling for an hour straight. That's the test that matters. Not a 3-minute benchmark, an hour of real work.
The 16-inch OLED at 240 Hz means viewport sculpting is fluid in a way that IPS panels at half the refresh simply cannot match. When you're rotating a dense mesh in real time, you feel the difference immediately. The cold front vapor chamber system keeps CPU and GPU temperatures sane under full load. CPU around 79 degrees, GPU around 67. Those are workstation numbers inside a laptop chassis. For under $3,000, you're getting RTX 5090 level Blender performance without paying for the 5090 name. That gap is real, and it matters. One caveat, and don't ignore this. At 5.5 to 6 pounds, this is not a travel machine. It's a stay on a desk or go to a studio machine. If you need to render on a flight, this will test your shoulder on the way to the gate. Number 2. Apple MacBook Pro 16 M4 Max. The M4 Max scored over 5,200 points in the official Blender benchmark. That beats the RTX 4070 desktop GPU in a laptop with a 22-hour battery life. That number was not supposed to be possible 2 years ago. Apple made it possible by building the GPU and memory into the same chip, no data bottleneck between them. In Blender, you feel this. Dense scenes that make Windows laptops pause to breathe just load on the MacBook. The viewport stays fluid at high mesh density. The M4 Max does not stagger. It just keeps going. The Liquid Retina XDR display is the second best display on this list. P3 wide color, 1000 nits sustained brightness, ProMotion up to 120 Hz. This is a professional reference display in a laptop you can use on a plane. You'll render for 6 hours on battery. Not gaming battery, real battery. The kind where you forget the charger and still make your deadline. One thing, and you need to hear this clearly. Blender's GPU rendering on Mac runs on Metal, not CUDA, not Optix. Metal is excellent and improving every version, but some third-party render engines like Redshift and Octane still have better Windows CUDA support. If your pipeline depends on those specifically, check compatibility before you commit. This machine makes long render sessions feel effortless in a way no Windows laptop does. Number 1. Razer Blade 16 RTX 5090. 24 gigabytes of VRAM. That's the number that changes what you can render. Massive particle systems, dense volumetric simulations, high-resolution texture sets loaded all at once. The kinds of scenes that crash 8 gigabyte cards just run on the Blade 16. Blender's cycles with Optix acceleration on the RTX 5090 is the fastest cycles rendering you can do on any portable machine right now, by a clear margin. At 0.59 inches thin and 4.7 pounds, this is also the most powerful laptop you can actually travel with comfortably. That combination, maximum power, real portability, is something no one else on this list achieves. The OLED at 240 Hz means viewport interaction at this resolution feels like sculpting on glass. There is no lag, there is no stutter, just you and your mesh. $4,500 is real money. Here's how to think about it. If slow renders cost you 2 billable hours a week, that's over 100 hours of lost income per year. At any reasonable freelance rate, this machine pays for itself fast. One honest thing. Battery under active rendering is 3 to 4 hours. The RTX 5090 pulls hard when Blender is running. Bring the charger, always. If you're torn between the Legion Pro 7i and the Blade 16, tell me your render workflow and your budget, and I'll tell you exactly which one fits your workflow. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you're buying a Blender laptop. The GPU model means almost nothing if you don't check the TGP. TGP stands for Total Graphics Power. It's the wattage the laptop actually allocates to your GPU while it's running. Two laptops can both say RTX 5080. One gives it 175 watts, one gives it 80 watts. In Blender cycles, the 175-watt machine can render up to 40% faster. Same GPU name on the box, completely different machine. Before you buy any laptop on this list or any other laptop, search the model name plus the words GPU TGP wattage. Find the spec sheet or a notebook check review. Confirm the number. The Razer Blade 16 runs its 5090 at up to 155 to 175 watts. The Legion Pro 7i runs its 5080 at 175 watts. Both are honest machines. Not every laptop you'll see advertised is. You came here because you didn't want to waste $1,000 on the wrong machine. I hope I saved you that. All 5 laptops with current Amazon prices are linked directly in the description below. If this video saved you from a purchase you would have regretted, hit the like button. It helps other Blender artists find this video before they make the same mistake. Next week, I'm going over the best external GPUs for Blender artists who already own a laptop. I'll show you exactly how much render performance you can add for under $500. Stay sharp, render fast.